Good evening. Whoa, sorry, I'll talk a little quieter. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our fifth Virginia City Band concert of the season. As always, we'll begin with our national anthem. Please rise if you are able. That, of course, was Star Wars. In specific, it was the music from Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Now, anyone who knows me knows that I am a huge Star Wars guy. And it is my opinion that of all 9 movies, the Episode 3 has the best music. Just my opinion, but there's a lot of good themes in that one, and it really adds to the emotional weight. I tell people a lot that Star Wars wouldn't be Star Wars without the music. What John Williams does for it, it takes it. It wouldn't be the same without it. If you were here last week, you heard me profess my admiration for John Williams as the greatest film composer of all time, and I listed off a bunch of his most well-known movies. But then afterwards, several band members said, well, what about this one? What about this one? So a few more of his greatest movies. Jaws. How could I forget Jaws? But Jaws, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Home Alone, and the original Superman. So there's so many good movies that he has scored for that I couldn't even remember all of them. So that just shows you what he has been able to do throughout his career. And he's done now with film composing, but he's still going to keep making music. So good for him. Next up, we are going to do a piece called In Heaven's Air by Samuel Hazel. It was commissioned by a college band director, and it was written to help him cope with the sudden passing of his mother. The title is taken from a Shakespearean sonnet, and this piece really showcases how sensitive we can be musically. actors can perform in various roles well. It's said that they've got range, acting range. I think we've got some range too, if you don't mind my saying. Next up, a Sousa march, of course, the Gallant 7th. Now, this march was Sousa's 101st march that he wrote, premiered in 1922. The 7th Regiment Army Band accompanied Sousa's ensemble for the original performance, so that's kind of neat. Sousa had several band members who enlisted in World War I, and they became members of the 7th Regimental Band, and so they asked Sousa to write a march for them, and he happily obliged, and then they played it together. So that's kind of a nice touch. This is a really nice march, one of my favorite Sousa marches, the Gallant 7th. we're going to loosen it up here with our next one, Alexander's Ragtime Band by Irving Berlin. So Berlin wrote this song in 1911. It was written in Tin Pan Alley in New York City. And if you don't know what that is, that's kind of this area, this one little block, this one little group of buildings in the early 1900s where a lot of musicians were active and writing, and a lot of the music came out of that one specific place in New York City. And ragtime is kind of a precursor to jazz. It kind of sounds jazzy, but it's not jazzy. It's not swung. It's a ragged rhythm. It's a syncopated rhythm. So it's like the slightly less cool jazz. But ragtime has a lot of fans. Now, I should also mention, too, that this piece should probably be credited not to Irving Berlin, but Scott Joplin, another ragtime composer. He was an African-American composer, and his most famous pieces were The Entertainer and The Maple Leaf Rag. The story goes that Joplin actually wrote this, and that he and Berlin were in the same building. And Berlin heard it and stole it, wrote it, and copyrighted it before him. And then Joplin heard this music somewhere. I don't know if it was live or on the radio, and he said, "Hey, that's my music. That I wrote that." But Berlin got to it first. And so I always like to credit Scott Joplin with this piece as well. This piece also features our trumpet section. We got a rocket trumpet section back there, and so we'll give it to you. Alexander's Ragtime Band.
Well, we're in for a special treat tonight. We have the Mahonen brothers before you here, and we're going to do a piece of music called Concertpiece by Michele Magnani, a good Italian clarinet player that, and the music is published in Italy and all, and so it was a challenge for us, European. When they write their music, they don't quite write it like ours. But anyhow, we have Matt Mahonen here, and Matt is the older brother of the two. Matt has been studying at UMD for several years, and he's also the Hibbing City Band co-conductor this year, so he's getting lots of musical experience. Matt also does a lot of private clarinet lessons in the area. Andrew, we don't call him Andrew anymore. By the way, both of them are VHS, Virginia High School graduates. Andrew is now called Dr. Andrew Mahonen. He has his doctor's degree in clarinet. Quite a monumental task, I'll tell you. That's not something to take lightly. He's just received his degree a few weeks ago down in Florida, so congratulations to Matt. Concertpiece by Michelle Magnani. We need about a 1 hour intermission after that one. Just to, thank you. Well deserved. It's just a beautiful piece of music, and it's, you know, he sent me about 3 or 4 things to listen to, and this one just caught me. So beautiful, and what a beautiful job. You know, that's We have talent, don't we? Yeah. Yeah. Next, a march called On the Mall. I think it's a while since we've played this, but we've done other Goldman things. So if you want to join us in singing somewhere along the line, the words are easy. They're just la, la, la. So that, the trio part has a singing and whistling part. And just to give us a little break here, next week will be, of course, our final concert here. And then we are doing one, just a bunch of us volunteered to join the Hibbing City Band at the Discovery Center. That would be a week after next. Now, probably the most important thing said tonight is next week, of course, Phil Troutwine already has been out getting us some goodies. So we should have, whether it be here or in there, when I looked at the weather report for next week, they got a great big thunderstorm on Thursday. But anyhow, whichever place we're in, we'll have pop and ice cream for you. So you don't want to miss that one, right? I would like to also at this time thank the mayor and city of Virginia for sponsoring this group. I think it's just by the size of our audience, isn't that obvious? You people are enjoying it and coming back, and when you can hear something like that, why not? What the heck, beautiful. So I want to give a special thanks to our person that has besides being a band director, he also is a painter and he does a bunch of other work, construction type work, and pulls around a big trailer that he bought. Mr. Dan Melby, he's been carting our percussion stuff for it. He's just made it so much easier that it would be really tough. And I want to compliment all the members of the band. We give them, like when they leave tonight, they'll have next week's concert to take home and practice. That's Marie and Ryan have just done a fantastic job with that. That's not an easy thing, so they get a little extra practice time. Also, this year, instead of me trying to write stuff for the paper and that, I appointed Ruth Jason to be our person, and then she communicates with Linda Tyson, who has done a beautiful job in our Masabi and getting the publicity out. I'm sure that most of you see that. So not only will there be ice cream and stuff next week, we also are going to have just a lighter program. So it'll be a fun concert. Not that they all aren't. So, On the Mall. Goldman wrote that in 1923. He had must had captivity of the bandstand. They called it the Mall in Central Park in New York City, and he did concerts there quite often. And I guess they had just thousands and thousands of people that would. They didn't have TV, etc., to watch way back then. So, that was their excitement. So on the Mall. Next, we're gonna play. I have a suite from the Titanic. I think we've been all the music from the movie, and we've been hearing enough about that lately. And a funny thing is that they have museums all over the different places in the country, and even I was just shocked. My grandkids, they could hardly wait to go and see the museum that they were at when they had their spring break. So it just has had a big effect on everybody. So anyhow, it's got several songs, like about 5 of them. But for some reason, when I watch the movie, I only remember one certain part. It's when Kate Winslet is standing on the bow of the ship, and she's got Leonard DiCaprio there, and some pretty big time people. So from that suite of music, we're going to do "My Heart Will Go On," written by James Horner. So this is from a suite of 5 songs. We're going to do one of them. kind of nice to, after playing songs with so many notes, and just have a nice, sweet little song like that. If you are a music lover, make sure you check the schedule of the Northern Lights. They've got opera weekend, you know. I don't know if I ever have heard of operas being up here since way back when, maybe, but of lately, you know, we have this. They're just. I mean, this is big time stuff. So make sure you avail yourself to them. Also, in not next following weekends starts Willy Wonka at the. So several of these people are playing in the pit orchestra for that. So check all of those things out. Next on our program, and I don't know, I just have a soft spot for the old Glenn Miller era, etc. So we're going to do a song called Big Band Favorites by Bob Loudon arranged it. We start off with Tommy Dorsey's I'm Getting Sentimental Over You. We have our own Tommy Dorsey back there with Dave Hajdukovic. And one of my most favorite songs, Here's That Rainy Day. Jimmy Van Heusen, I think Nat King Cole they listed, and Sinatra, and even Dylan took a bunch of Sinatra tunes, and this one was on there and sang it. So beautiful song, Here's That Rainy Day. Stomping at the Savoy, Benny Goodman. In the Mood, I don't have to introduce that one, Glenn Miller. Woodchopper's Ball, Woody Herman. So. So we'll finish our concert off tonight with a reminder about next week. So make sure you're here. And we've done this tune before. It's a bit featured like Maynard Ferguson and people like that. So it's just a fun, uplifting tune. It ought to send you away in a good mood. Spanish Fever is called by Jay Chataway. And again, thank you very much for coming. you move?